I'm going to play for you now, gents, and indeed the viewers at home, what can be at times a little bit uncomfortable to watch. We know that the senators, a few of them are going to take their place on July 1. Some of them have been doing plenty of media, such as David Layhamhelm from the Liberal Democratic Party, but others have been a little harder to pin down. None more so than Ricky Muir. He's from the Motoring Enthusiast Party. He's joined, of course, with Clive Palmer's group of senators to form a bloc of 4, but hasn't been all that keen to do media interviews. Well, last night, the 7 Network aired one of those interviews with him. Have a listen.
Do you understand what balance of power means?
Yes. It's the potential if, let's say in this case, Labor and Greens it's the power to vote down legislation in the right circumstances.
So, you love cars, why do you really care who makes them?
There's the aftermarket industry, which can be supported. There's people that are losing the jobs. Oh, sorry. Can we start that question again?
Sure. Just go ahead.
Okay, so there's the aftermarket industry, which... Sorry, can we go to another question? I've just got myself in a fluster.
That's all right, just take a few deep breaths. I don't know what you mean by aftermarketing.
Aftermarket industry. So,
what do you mean?
So the aftermarket industry is the industry that is... Take a breath.
As mentioned, that aired on the 7 Network last night on their program Sunday night, so courtesy of the 7 Network. Andrew Bartlett, your thoughts? I mean, this media caper isn't always easy. Ricky Muir, obviously very much an amateur at the moment. Should we not worry too much about this? And as Chris Bowen said not so long ago when asked to react, he said, let's judge a senator on his 6-year term, not one media interview. Your take on this?
I tend to agree with that comment to Chris Bowen's. I guess, I mean, certainly the fact that Ricky Muir's got elected on, you know, about half of 1% of the vote, I think is a real problem anyway, and it's good to see that Labor, Liberal and Greens coming to an agreement, or a likely agreement, about improving the Senate voting system so that it is genuinely representative. But, you know, Ricky Muir's been elected lawfully. He's got 6 years now. It seems like he's going to just tuck in with the Palmer United Party people initially, but you know, he's an individual. At any stage along those 6 years he can decide to vote however he likes, and he'll have a lot of people certainly encouraging him at various stages to vote in particular ways regardless of what the Palmer Party do. So it's appropriate he be scrutinised very closely, and look, it's tough on the crossbench. There's nowhere to hide when it's a balance of power situation. I guess, you know, I've been in that position with the Democrats. But when you're only one, it's tougher again, and you know, I don't envy him in lots of respects, and you know, we've seen some people do it excellently, like Brian Harradine over a long period of time, but we've seen others that you know, really went up to the job. I'll be polite and won't name names, but so he's got a tough job in front of him. I guess we've got to see how he performs once he's in there, but I think people are right to be concerned that someone's managed to get elected on such a minimal vote, and will therefore be doubly looking at him.
You spoke about the tough job it is, but given this is a job that's going to be pretty tricky to learn on the job, is it somewhat surprising that, and if you watch the rest of the interview, he doesn't have a lot of political views. He's the Motoring Enthusiast Party, so we know his views in that area, but there's going to be a lot of issues out there where he's really going to need to do a lot of reading and perhaps think about them in depth, some of these issues for the first time.
Oh, absolutely, and look, in that sense I suppose I can understand what he seems to have done, although there's a lot of question marks over his arrangement with the Palmer Party, but seems to have made some memorandum of understanding to tuck in, you know, and presumably just basically go along with them. That's assuming the 3 Palmer people all stick together, which is another bit of a question mark over time. Certainly that Tasmanian senator's not short of having her own opinion, and good on her. But he's even with you're one amongst four, it's still not a lot of room to hide, and he'll have people questioning every time he makes the vote. Why'd you do that? How come you let that through? How come you stopped this? And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he perhaps hasn't spent his time. He's known since September he was going to be in this position come July, so I'm surprised he perhaps hasn't put a bit more time into thinking about his answers to these sorts of questions, because certainly you can't blame people for asking them.
Yeah, I do know that he's still working at a sawmill in Victoria, and he's been saying, well, he's not a senator yet, so he's still earning a crust for his wife and 5 children, so
Sure.
that's certainly been part of his take on that.